shot. Somebody can
You want to send it?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right, let's go ahead and clap it up, Akim. Man, it's good to see y'all in here, man. It's been a little bit of minutes since we went live and we was in the building. So first and foremost, I want to say Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua Thumb to all the brothers, Yahweh Shemar Thumb Ba'Shem Yahshua to all the sisters. All right, we are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commander General Yana. I'm Precinct Officer 5000, Kasar Bakar. This is the Thursday night scripture breakdown class. This class is built to specifically ask any questions. I'll do my best to answer any questions that you may have. Brief history on the ISUPK. I don't know if I have it up here, but we teach that Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans from North, Central, and South America, the West Indian Islands, are the true descendants of the biblical Israelites of antiquity. We teach that follow all statutes and commandments will fix all of the problems in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. Right. Like, if you go, what is it? I think they call it the Black Caucus. Every year they have a caucus of people that come together trying to fix the problems in the Black community. All of your educated, scholars, lawyers, doctors, trying to fix the problems of the Black community. When we have the answers right here in the Bible, it was that simple. Grandma has one, you know what I'm saying? Auntie has one, you may have on your phone. How is the Bible going to fix all the problems in the community? It's very simple. We have laws, statutes, and commandments in the Bible. That's right. And the reason why Jesus Christ, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is so important because he showed us how to follow the law in spirit and lead by example. All right? Give me that Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 6. And then we'll go to question.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 6. Everybody got it?
Wait on, brother, 1 second. You got it?
So, that's on page 220. Yeah.
Start at verse 5 when everybody got it.
Come on. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments.
Right. The Lord taught the children of Israel statutes and judgments. Read.
Even as the Lord, my God, commanded me.
Right. So this is Moses telling the children of Israel. The Lord commanded him to teach our people law, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
That you should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Right. And that we should obey these laws. All right.
Verse 6.
Hold on 1 second. Let me ask, what are some issues that you hear specifically in the black and brown community? Yeah.
A lot of times
Mm-hmm. Not just through your life, but like, what do you hear that we go through a lot as a community?
a lot violence is different.
Violence, right?
We could go through, violence, I go through the stealing.
Right.
Also, just not being educated.
Right. Right.
Like education.
That's not right. Let's go ahead. What's some other things, guys, for y'all?
Health problems, diabetes,
Right.
cancer,
Right.
prison.
Prison. Yep. Okay. Got anything else, Leon?
Yeah, lack of fathers in the house,
Right.
no leadership, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? As far as like, politicians and everything like that. Pastors leading you astray. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Everybody's just out for that money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't care about, their own people. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? The people that do have the means to take care of other people, you know what I'm saying? Their own people, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? But they don't,
Right.
you know?
These are all things that we hear about the black community: violence, the prison, drug use is another big one. You understand? The family unit being torn down. And does anybody ever ask yourself just why? You know what I mean? Because what do they say racism is? You blame a person's behavior on their skin color. But we so quick to say black people can't do this, black people can't do that. Is it because it's in our DNA to be dysfunctional? Is it in our DNA to be drug addicts, to be violent against each other? Right. It's because it's part of the culture that was given to us in our oppression. And these laws give us a culture based on righteousness.
Right.
That's the difference. Keep reading, verse 6.
Gotta look up. Verse 6,
Mm-hmm.
keep therefore and do them,
Right.
for this is your wisdom and your understanding
This is your wisdom and understanding. Keep going.
in the sight of the nation.
In the sight of other nations, how are black people looked at amongst other nations? How are Latinos looked at among other nations? As thieves, as violent, as degenerates, as no proper family, right?
Right.
Why is that? Because we don't have any structure. We don't have any laws. The most important document in America is the Constitution, because those laws teach the nation how to survive and thrive. They put in place the leadership, like you said, they were lacking. They put in place the structure of how to organize their people. The reason why we're destroyed is because we don't have any structure amongst our people. You go to New York, they'll say it's okay to be a gang member and gang members do this. You go to LA, they'll say, nah, gang members can't do that, but we can do this. You go to New Orleans, you go to Chicago. In Chicago in the 90s, they were giving 8-year-olds guns to go and kill people.
Right.
You understand? But you go to LA, they're like, nah, you can't do that. I would never put a gun in an 8-year-old's hand, but I'll put it in a 12-year-old's.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You go to the Bay Area, and they say, okay, you should be 13. But all of it is unlawful, and all of it is not righteous, and all of it leads to our destruction. We need to have something uniform across the board. Keep going, Noah.
So my God, we shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great
This
nation,
what?
this great
One
nation,
more time.
this great nation
Read.
is a wise and understanding people.
Our reputation wasn't just supposed to be the best basketball players and the best runners and the best football players and the best music entertainers. Our reputation was supposed to be based on our morals. So when you see a black person coming to the store, you know they're a Hebrew Israelite and they don't steal. You understand? The Asian person, the East Indian would know us for never stealing, for never selling drugs, for never having prostitution in our community, for having solid family and core, you know what I mean, nuclear families. And everyone will say this is a wise and understanding nation. And this is why we say we can fix all of those problems, because our law says you cannot kill. That stops the violence. Our law says you cannot steal. You will no longer be thieves. Our law says you have to love your brother as you love yourself. Me to sell crack to your mother, you wouldn't want me to sell fentanyl to your brother, then why would I do it to mine? You understand? And that cleanses our nation. And how do we know it's true? I'll ask y'all a question. Also, Mokan, how do we know this law is true and works?
It's like, don't follow it, the destruction comes.
True. No, I want to say, how do we know? The answer is right here. How do we know it worse?
So I guess, sir, I would say the reason we know it works is because of you to by the Most High.
Because we never followed it. We never did it. We know it works. Go ahead, Ashar.
Because right here in the eyes, okay, sir.
Damn right. The only answer. We know following these laws works, fixes those problems, because we didn't come from families that didn't have these problems. Everybody came from families that had these issues, that suffer under oppression, and we fixed those problems brick by brick, brother by brother, sister by sister, by obeying these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. Now let's. Any questions in the room? And before we do that, Salaki, if I forget, man, give all the brothers, man, especially Officer Nayak, Officer Mawakan, Ahmad, you understand, young men, Zarwan, everybody that put their work in for getting this amazing tile down and getting our school back in order. We're going to get it all the way up and running, but y'all been doing amazing work out here. So what for y'all hard work. All right?
So I had a question, with Revelations 11:14. How do we show using scripture that the first and second woe, the third woe that's soon to come, how do we show that those are talking about world wars?
How do we show that they're talking about world wars? Let's go to it. Yeah, let's go to
Revelations 11:14.
This is book of Revelations, chapter 11, verse 14.
start at verse 12.
This is book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
Right.
Verse 13. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were 7,000, and the remnant were affright and gave glory to the God of heaven.
Right. These are future prophecies that John was seeing, revealing to him about what's going to happen in the future, about the downfall of a great kingdom. Keep going.
God. Verse 14. The second woe is past.
The second woe is past. Read.
And behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Right. We have been teaching since the 60s that the second woe was the Second World War. And that the third woe will come quickly. This third world war, this great event, this cataclysmic event, is going to be the destruction of this empire. Right? Keep going on. I see you, Mo.
Come. Verse 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven, saying, the kingdoms of this world are the kingdoms of our Lord.
Right, the kingdoms of our Lord. Meaning these people that are in rulership will no longer be in rulership ever again. That is the last big conflict. That's the last war. That's the last thing to destroy this place as we know it. And y'all have heard of what do they say? It's like the midnight clock or something like that, the nuclear clock. You know what I mean? They say it's like 2 minutes to midnight, and when midnight hits, that's when the next nuclear war will happen. Dave, you heard about that, Nayak? Somebody look it up real quick. Put up the nuclear clock and just explain it real quick. But go ahead, Morgan.
The reason I asked is because Christian was saying that it was talking about the destruction of the second temple in 70 AD.
Okay.
And they're saying like how they're trying to build a temple of Israel. How would we use scripture to disprove that?
So I would just keep reading in the context of what we're reading right here. You know what I mean? It's going to reveal that it has nothing to do with a temple, because it's talking about these kingdoms coming to an end. right? It's not talking about the children of Israel coming to an end. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's talking about multiple kingdoms being destroyed and the Lord in Christ ruling over them. And so if you ask a Christian, what is Armageddon? They're going to say that it's the last war, right? When the Valley of Jehoshaphat, Ezekiel was at 37, 38, right?
So, Flavio,
Go ahead.
would there be a way to kind of cut off the argument of saying that the second world was the fall of the temple of 70 AD? Because I feel like that's really where I was struggling with it. Because I mean, World War III, like it shows us something in the third world, but how do you show that that second world is talking about World War II and it's not talking about?
Keep reading the
Come on, God. And of his Christ. And he shall reign.
What's like?
Go ahead.
Because so in 13, when you read down in 13, that's the part that kind of got me stuck. It was the fact that he was talking about the great part fell, and then I was kind of stuck. Is this talking about this? And I was in my mind, it's like I was thinking, like, is this talking about the fall of the temple? And that's really what kind of got me caught up. It was like, it sounds like that. And the way the Christian was talking about it, it sounded like it sounded good. It sounded good, but it was just like it's like okay, now these scriptures actually show the opposite.
Okay, so
I'm really stuck on the second one.
the second woe is that because of verse 13.
Come on.
I mean, I will, okay. To answer your question, right? Where it's saying in verse 13, in the same hour was there a earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. In the earthquake were slain men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory of heaven. The second asked, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. I would just ask them, where was this great earthquake at that happened in the days of the 70 AD? And the close as well, I always like, go to 1 Peter real quick. So chapter 3 and verse 10. 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 10. Another World War III precept to go along with that. Because the power that these nations have are so great today. What do we got? We got nuclear bombs. We got all these spacecraft. You know what I mean? What are these Black Hawks and what is the stealth bombers? You understand? AI robots coming around. Like, in order for this kingdom and all these kingdoms to fall, it has to be a great event to do this. And that's what the book of Revelations is talking about. All of these things are not only going to alter just the lives of the children of Israel as it did in 70 AD. This is changing the entire world. So I would go to Revelation 18. You understand? All of these things that he is talking about, I would say, has this happened yet?
Right.
You understand? None of these things have happened in totality. You understand? These are things that are still being revealed to this day. Well, go ahead.
Come on, God. This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away
Right.
with the great the elements
And the what?
and the
This word back in the Bible. I thought that Einstein discovered this, in the 1920s or was, what I mean? All these different scientists in the 1800s start talking about the elements, you know what I mean? Hydrogen, oxygen, all these different things, carbon. It says the elements shall melt. Keep reading.
shall melt
Mm-hmm.
with fervent heat.
Right. Nuclear war has been in the Bible.
Right.
You understand? These things have been talking about, I think in Zechariah, talks about their eyes will be consumed in their flesh. You know what I'm saying? That's the same image you see of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Right? Keep reading.
Come on, come. The earth also and the works that are therein
Mm-hmm.
shall be burned up.
Shall be what?
Burned up.
Uh-huh. That's a prophecy as well about what will happen in this third world war, in this great war. And the reason why we know the second woe leads up to it is because that was the one where we first saw nuclear bombs. That's why they go together. Understand? All right. Any other questions? Okay. No sweat, no sweat. Let's go straight into it tonight. We see in the news once again, there's new information coming about this brother Nolan Wells today or yesterday. You know what I mean? The autopsy about this young man, what happened to him, and what went on down there in what city were they in? Mississippi or Alabama? I think. Alabama. Was it Mississippi? I can't remember. But clearly, it seems like there's been foul play, as they say.
Right.
And our job in the UPK, right, has been to warn our people that we have to separate ourselves from these other nations, specifically the so-called white men. Why is that? Not because of the color of his skin, not because of the color of his eyes, not because of the texture of his hair, but because of the content of his character, because of the things that he has done. Give me Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. Right? And this is the wisdom that we have, right? Brothers say if you had some snakes at your door and they were poisonous, right? You say they camp all the time. If you had a bunch of snakes at your door and they were poisonous, would you open the door and try to figure out which snake is good and which one is bad, as opposed to just closing the door?
Right.
And online, we get a lot of hecklers or people that come online, a lot of white supremacists that come on our post, and they say, well, black people kill each other more. Black people are doing this, and black people are doing that. Guess what? Two things are happening when we do commit violence against each other. For one, it's not because we are black. It's because you stole this money. It's because you're from the other side of town. It's because of this, because of that. It's not just because who you were born. It's not a racial thing. There's a difference between being in a conflict with your brother and a conflict with another nation of people who indiscriminately blanket everyone. You understand? And the second thing is, we actually go to jail when we harm each other. We actually go to prison.
Right.
We actually are held accountable for the things that we do. But this nation historically has shown over and over and over again, the people that are oppressing us help each other to further oppress us. Go ahead up.
Sorry, the comment, I was watching the video and they're talking about other situations that were similar to the Nolan Well situation with the cover-ups that
Right.
continuously happening in the black community. And what kind of dawned on me was the fact that we, like, every year these stories come up of a brother being found dead.
Right.
Secondary autopsies being done and them sending back. Like, secondary autopsy with this brother, the brother that was killed in his high school and dumped in a wrestling ring.
Right. Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, and then but when they did the secondary autopsy, autopsy, the state, the feds, they sent his body out with like confetti.
Right.
It's kind of important part of evidence. And there was another case that did the exact same thing. And really just boggles my mind. I already understand that this is in the sun. It's gonna make some up. But it's discouraging to see that these things it's forgotten 2 months later.
Right.
Like 3 months. No one's gonna remember
That, you know what it is? That's why they bombard you with so much information now on social media. It's so many new things happening. Our attention span has become so small that they bombard you and become desensitized to these things. You just accept it. And when you know something is wrong and you feel like something needs to change, but you can't, what does that make you want to do? It makes you want to get high. You understand? To escape the reality of where you live. You understand? There's no way that you can go through years and years of these things and then see that nothing changed and keep your standing.
Right.
What we're doing in here, something is wrong. Something should be done about it.
Right.
What are we going to do about it? Living life like this is saying, they keep killing us. The police don't care about us. There's no justice. There's no peace. There's no everything we keep saying over and over and over again. Every year, every 5 years, it's like standing on a train track and saying, "There's a train coming. A train about to hit us. You see the train? Yeah, there's a train coming. Train about to hit us. Train gonna get us. That train about is moving real fast. This train, man, this train about to destroy us. It's gonna run us over, and we're done." Somebody needs to come along and say, "Hey, get off the goddamn train tracks, man. Why are you standing there? If you see the train is coming, get out of the way."
Right.
But black people have been stuck in a frozen state because we lost our identity in slavery, to where we think we cannot get off the train track. We think the only way to survive is by loving the oppressor.
Right.
And remember your point. No other nation would be told that. They don't tell Ukrainians to join hands with the Russians and love and forgive the Russians.
Right.
They give Ukrainians AR-15s. Not saying that we should do that in the UK. I'll take that, leave with that. But they tell them to defend themselves and fight back.
Right.
All right? And we feel hopeless because we don't know how to defend ourselves and fight back. Go ahead, Art.
Hey, I was just gonna add just to piggyback off of that, sir. The normalization of that mentality in our community is controlled by those algorithms. Because in our algorithms, we've already damn near forgotten about Charlie Kirk ass, but in their algorithms, Charlie Kirk is like they're a whole thing. And they ain't forgotten about him. They're still, even though he was killed by a white man, we're still getting blamed for it to this day. They're still hating us for it.
What's on Christ? Go ahead with that verse you got, Ezekiel.
Come. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Right. If you go up a few verses, it says that this is a warning to Mount Seir, to Edom, the children of Esau, who we know in the truth is the so-called white man, right? He is saying to them, because thou hast had a perpetual war,
and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
Right. It's not because of the color of your skin, it's not because of the color of your eyes. It's because you have shed the blood of the children of Israel. Keep going.
By the force of the sword.
By the force of the sword. How was America conquered? Through death, violence, and destruction. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? Right. Keep going.
God. In the time of their calamity.
In the time of our destruction. Even though we're destroyed here in America right now, even though they see us fighting each other and unaliving each other, they don't say, wow, that may be a byproduct of us treating them like goddamn animals for 400 years, taking their names away from them. I'm going to say raping their mothers and their forefathers and their children for years and years and years. Maybe they're violent because of the things they went through. Maybe we should try to help them. They don't say that. They say, go back to your country. They say, you don't like America, go back to Africa. They say, shut up and dribble, LeBron. Don't talk about what the police are doing to you. You understand? In the time of our calamity, the time of our danger, keep going.
In the time that their inequity had an end.
Right, the time that we're trying to get free, we're trying to rise up. Y'all know about the Reconstruction period a little bit after slavery? I call it you know about that? What was going on, Mokan?
Our communities were becoming some of the most prosperous.
Mm-hmm.
We had the highest rates of marriages staying together.
Right.
The highest rates of economic growth.
Right.
I think it was somewhere where it's like we were like 30% ahead in
Right.
economic growth per capita
Yeah.
for our communities. And then the negative aspect, lynchings increased.
No, yeah, that's the part you get jumped on the head. Colleges, there were people that were becoming senators, that were getting into the government, and then the lynching started happening. Then Jim Crow came in because they didn't want to see us rise up. As our calamity, as our slavery put on more oppression. The civil rights and the Black Panthers, then they put on more oppression, crack, heroin, cocaine, gangs, this gangster music to influence us to do all, you understand, guns, all these things they put, breaking up the family. The more we try to get away and build ourselves up, they prove to you over and over and over again that we are at war with them. Keep going.
Verse 6,
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, as I live, said the Lord,
Right.
God, I will prepare thee unto blood.
The Lord is going to prepare them unto blood. They're going to have to go through pain and suffering because that's justice. That's right. You understand? And that's a hard thing to understand if you don't love Black and brown people.
That's right.
We're not trying to teach Black and brown people to hate white people. We're trying to teach Black and brown people to love each other.
Right.
We got beautiful children in the room right here. You understand? And I'm sure, and I know without a doubt, that their parents love them. And if someone tried to harm them and you did something to stop them from harming them, would you say that this brother hated that person? Or would you say that he loved his son?
Right.
You understand?
Right.
You didn't wake up in the morning and say, I want to go and stop a robber to break into my house. No, nigga, you came into my house.
Right.
You tried to harm my child.
Right.
I am defending myself.
Right.
And the reason why Black people don't want to defend themselves, blow my mind. What's the number one reason why we don't want to stand up and defend ourselves? Ashar?
Because we're prosecuted for it, sir.
Nah, not saying that. Go ahead.
We're afraid of retaliation.
Nope. And I'm thinking spiritually, like defending ourselves. Not saying we need to go and pick up, once again, we live out here. We're not gonna harm anybody in the UPK. Why are we not wanting to defend ourselves? What is the one thing that's teaching us this? Go ahead.
So it's like because of the vengeance of the Lord.
No, we don't truly believe in that as the Black and brown community. That's why we don't go do things against other people. But when I say defending ourselves, I mean defending ourselves spiritually. Separation, like the teachings of the UPK would have saved Nolan's life because he wouldn't have gone there. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
The Christian church.
That's it right there.
Right.
The Christian church teaches you that you have to love every nation equally, but they don't even believe that themselves because they're hypocrites. They didn't love the Nazis in Germany equally. They sent weapons to go destroy them, and they still identify as Christians. They didn't send, Bibles over to Vietnam. You understand?
Right.
Go ahead.
So like I was talking to these two brothers over the past yesterday, day before yesterday, talking about how the Christian church, like how you just said, like they don't believe in what they tell us, like even the white people.
Right.
So they say, oh, called Brother in Christ. It's like, it's Christian people in America that hate Latinos coming over the border.
Right.
So it's just like you say one thing,
Mm-hmm.
say that you're a Christian, but then you do something that's completely opposite what you say you believe, what you say the Bible says you're supposed to do.
Right.
Which is just another show that Christianity is a lie.
You know the reason why that's hard for Black people to understand?
We're better Christians than white people.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to put it on the Christian blanket. I'm going to say, because the true Christian would not think like that either, right? That's a lie to say it's wrong to defend yourself or to separate yourself or to make a judgment based on a group of people. That's intelligence. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not intelligent to say you're going to a place and they're having a mass shooting and you saying, well, God loves everybody, and just moving around trying to hug the mass shooter. That's ignorance. You know what I mean? That's insanity. It's not intelligent, right? I'm going to say the reason why, okay, I was hearing a lady talking about the workplace, right? She said historically, Black people have not been able to move up through, what's it called, white collar, you know what I mean, or whatever they call that type of industries, because we don't know how to be nice to people we don't like. We call that being fake. If you in the office and Barbara then done something to you, or she's been whispering about it behind your back and you heard about it, you're going to confront Barbara. What? It's going to be a problem. It's going to be some furniture moving, or we're going to get to an agreement. She said the reason why white people are able to move through corporate America is because they can hate people and still. They can lie directly to you and still operate around you. We don't know that skill, and we think that us keeping it real, which I'm gonna say is not a wrong thing. I'm just gonna say us keeping it real is what has stopped us from moving through their spaces.
Right.
They have mastered the arts, and the greatest group of people ever do it is like the British Empire. Hello, mate, how are you? Jimmy old chap, good day, good day. You know what? Where are you going? You're going out of town? Me and my family will watch your house, mate. No problem. Give us the keys. We'll cut the grass. We'll do. You come back. Everything gone. This devil then took everything. He didn't leave nothing. The nails are gone out of your house. You understand? Because he's able to you, but he's lying and ready to stab you in the back. Right. So the reason why they're able to do that as white Christians, and we don't understand it, is because we don't believe someone could be that devious, right, that can lie, that can be that fake. And we have a spirit that honors the Lord to a certain extent that we don't see us going to that level with God, man, with God. The average Black and Hispanic person. Right. Now, the Christian pastors, they're a different breed. But the average Black and brown person be like, man, I'll shoot a nigga. I sell some dope, but I'll pimp abroad. But play with God? No. I'm like, scamming people in the church, that's kind of, it's a little bit much for me. Robbing old ladies, I don't know about that. Lying to the children, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? We have a little bit of morals to ourselves, even when we're in the world of doing wrong. Certainly, go ahead.
I mean, it's like
Hold on, before you. But white people are the exact opposite though. They're like, man, I can use God and this person will give me everything. I can use God and they'll do whatever I say. This is the key to life. I need to be in charge of the church. Why are we fighting these Jews? I'm going to make the Roman Catholic Church. And I have an affinity and love for molesting children. How about I use this book and get unlimited amounts of children to molest? Right. If we molested 2 children in the UPK, every door will be kicked in from east to west coast. Right. The Catholic Church can abuse children left and right for thousands of years and never get prosecuted, never get a mass indictment, nothing. You understand? Because they hide behind this book in the Most High, man. Right. Such an evil thing. Go ahead.
Right. I was gonna say, like, what General Muhammad said, which is like even Black Latinos being criminals, it's like we're nowhere near the criminal that the Italians and the Irish were.
Right.
We're not gonna go kill everybody on the block just
Right.
because you're selling drugs in my neighborhood over here. Like, we're going for specific people.
Right.
They're killing like Italian, white people. They're killing everybody.
Right.
In the
Right.
family.
Right. And you know what's heavy about what you're saying, what the general said is that's what they do to their own people. So imagine how they feel about us. Like this is so even far removed from us to even understand that part. Like they will go to extreme amounts amongst their own people. These world wars were Europeans fighting other Europeans. So they definitely look at us like we are just nothing to destroy, right? But keep going on. Let's finish up this one.
Come on, come. And blood shall pursue thee.
Right.
Since thou hast not hated blood.
Right. They don't hate to kill and unalive people. It's no problem for them. Keep going, just like the mafia.
Even blood shall pursue thee.
Right. So this is a spiritual thing. Now has to be the answer to that. So give me, what does it say? The weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
Second Corinthians 10:4.
Right. Let's start at verse 3.
Come on, come. This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 3.
Right.
For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh.
When we say defending ourselves, that doesn't mean to go and attack them. Even though we walk in the flesh, we're not trying to go to war with them in the flesh. But you can defend yourself by separating yourself. You can, that does a lot. That's why Jewish people, so-called Jewish people, moved to Israel. It's like the Germans are trying to eradicate you off the planet Earth. Move away from them. God damn. You know what I mean? Separate from them. Don't go over there anymore. Simple, Nolan. Don't be over there with them.
Right.
You don't have to F around and find out. Just don't do it. Don't risk it. It's not worth it. If you get into a situation, they say it's more dangerous to be around Black people, brown people in the hood, in the ghetto. My dad used to say it all the time. He said, in Oakland, in the flatlands, there's all the shootings and crime and everything. He said, but you can see it a mile away. He said, but what we don't see is all the evils that are going on in the hills of Oakland. Right. How many people are trapped in behind doors and things that are happening to people up in those hills. Right. People coming up missing left and right. But the police don't patrol up there and look to see what's going on. Right. You understand? So we can see, okay, man, look, these over here arguing. Maybe we should leave. But you can't see, hey, buddy, come on, get a drink. Come on, let's go, man. You're my pal. Let's go. Woo! They're on a boat having fun, drinking. And next thing you know, it's like a horror movie. Right. That's not what we do to each other. You understand? All right, go ahead.
Oh my God. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal,
right,
but mighty through our God.
What?
Through our God.
Through what?
Through God.
So it's not through us gathering a whole bunch of guns and weapons and saying we're going to go and attack these people. The Lord, and that's what you said, vengeance is the Lord. That's where our fight is going to be at. Go ahead.
Oh my God. To the pulling down of the strong.
All right, let's drop that one. Ecclesiastes. Matter of fact, so once again, I haven't seen all of the information on this brother's case, and more things are going to be revealed. But I do know one thing for sure, and two things are for certain. There is another black man, there's another black woman that saw this case, that saw the other case, and still gonna go and do it.
Right.
And they're gonna end up in the same situation as Lola. And the chief person that should be responsible for this is the Christian pastor.
Right.
The Christian pastor has blood on his hands with no limit. You understand? Go ahead.
I'm saying, even like this today, it's like even like fictional like TV shows and movies, they show this scene of like black people being abused by their friends.
Right.
And yet, for some, like that's another thing that me too. Even when they put it right in front of us,
Right.
our first inclination isn't that, oh, we need to separate ourselves, or these people are evil. It's just like, oh, we only think of these individuals
That's the thing.
as bad.
Right. And that's the hard part for us to understand, right? And this is why being an Israelite, being a Hebrew Israelite is so important. Because you start to identify other black and brown people as being a part of your nation.
Right.
And so you start to identify these crimes as not something that's an individual basis, as a bad apple. Or this one rogue white guy did this thing, or these young kids in Alabama or Mississippi did these things. You start to piece the puzzle together and say this group of people historically has done this against our group of people.
Right.
And if you're able to see yourself as a nation, then you will say that this nation is at war with us.
Right.
Every individual Russian has not gone out and tried to shoot a Ukrainian.
Right.
I wish I could ask Alexa, somebody Google, how many people live in Russia? You know what I'm saying? How many people? Somebody tell me real quick.
Sir, you say Lamentation 3?
4 in verse 18, 17, start there.
That's why it says the Russian population is approximately 143 million people.
143 million people. Now Google, how many Russian soldiers have fought in this Ukrainian war?
So like I said, it says Russia has deployed roughly 700 to 710,000 soldiers to the Ukraine border.
So less than 1 million of their people have gone to war with the Ukrainians. 142 more million people have nothing to do with this.
Right.
But the Ukrainians don't say, let's join in with the Russians.
Right.
The Ukrainians say, we're at war with the Russians. So we're not going to Russia. We're not going to deal with them. We're not going to try to be friends with them because groups from their people are attacking groups of our people.
Right.
And it's something that should be so simple, right? But once again, that Christian church has beat us, you understand that. And that's the key though. Being an Israelite allows you to see life in that context, that these things are happening by a group of people to a group of people.
Right.
And if that's the case, then we have to move in a certain fashion. It's not an individual thing. You understand? And it's yeah, go ahead.
Would that be, would you say that was a perfect example, analogy for that situation?
Mm-hmm.
Would there be another way to kind of hammer home to Christians? I had a brother at work
Right.
who pretty much he gave that same argument. It's like, well, it's not all white people. It's just like you said that. And I feel like if I try to use that analogy, it's like nation being war, that would probably go right past his head.
Mm.
Is there another way we could show that?
Okay. Let me think. How would you explain it to a child? Okay. I would say, for one,
Like, if I mean, just 'cause in my mind, like, if I were to say that to him, he'd be like, well, that's war. He wouldn't even clock the fact that you got to see us as a nation.
okay. Go ahead, Doc.
If I may, sir, it's like you are who you hang with. So if you are raised by white people, if you are, even if that white person grows up and tries not to surround themselves around white people and is so-called one of the good ones, to a difference, they embody the spirit of of their oppressor. And put in any situation, they will like choose their people. I mean, like I don't know if it's to a more. We'll try to take the stance of like, but it's not everybody. Like I feel like that's a good way of saying it's even the nice ones.
So,
Okay. To hear what I'm hearing from you, right? Like I always say, when sometimes the best way with Israelite school is universal and practical knowledge. With that type of person, they're saying this situation is completely individual, it's all separated. They don't see there's no connection between, they basically don't believe that Black people have been oppressed in America.
I won't say that they'll go that far in saying that, but I just would be able to see, like, bringing up the warfare. He would definitely warfare. Like, he'll go to depression. Here, so it's not the same. And that was like, I'm not saying that it was a perfect analogy.
Right. No, sure. You're just trying to see how they explain it to someone like that. That's the thing that we always hear these things that we have to appreciate, like the amenities in oppression. You know, like becoming a second-class citizen is the, you know what I mean? To move into a white neighborhood is success.
Right.
Like the only integration that we know is losing your. No other people think that advancement is losing your own people except us. And so the reason why we keep seeing it in that light is I would ask him something like, okay, how did 40 million people get over here? How did 40 million people get over here, young man? Somebody do it by themselves? Individual thing? You understand? Did it have an effect on millions of people? So they didn't do it by themselves. We didn't end up in this situation by ourselves, and they're not doing it by themselves.
Right.
But the covert, as a person has moved forward, it's become covert, and it's not open, it's undercover. So it's hard to sense it, and it's hard to detect it. But I would just try to explain it like I would to a child, man.
Okay.
That if you cannot see that there are 2 million brothers in prison for doing the same things that white people are doing, they're not going to prison. There's so many different things that we can find as evidence today of inequality, of oppression, whatever you want to call it. If you can deny it, then you just don't want to see it.
Right.
Captain Kahan said this all the time. It's an old Native American proverb. You can't wake up a man who's pretending to be asleep.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't wake up a brother that just doesn't want to win an argument, which is a very effeminate thing to do. You know what I'm saying? To win an argument, you will lie to someone. Y'all see someone do it, especially, no offense to the sisters out there. But a woman will, she knows she's wrong just to win the argument.
Right.
You understand? We cannot do that as men. You know what I mean? That's not masculine to do that. And that's what some brothers who grew up with their mothers and things of that nature, in order to be right, he's going to sit there and lie to your face and act like he doesn't know that Black people are being oppressed. You know what I'm saying?
It's like,
Go ahead.
a perfect example of that is the rapper 6ix9ine was on a podcast, and he was trying to show that another rapper, 21 Savage,
Right.
was a
Yeah.
He was reading the definition of the visa he had,
Right.
having to help the police,
Right.
and the brother that he was on the podcast with. What that mean? Like, I he didn't understand anything, like everything up until that point.
Right.
And it was just like, well, I ain't gonna call 21 Savage, so I'm just gonna sit here and lie.
Exactly.
So come.
Exactly. And the cold part about it is, the last thing I said, we'll keep going on the precepts, is that the other part that some of the people that we give them a little grace, that maybe They genuinely think because you have a job and you go to work and you can buy a house in America, or we see rich black people, that means we're all doing good or we're not being oppressed. That's because, once again, like I said, second class citizenship is the goal.
Right.
We don't know how much white people love themselves. We don't understand what it's like to be a free human being. We've been so far removed from freedom that we don't know what an actual man should feel in these situations. Because how did America start? Why did America separate from the British colony? You know? You remember? What part? Yeah, you know what was the reason that started that first Revolutionary War?
No, I actually don't.
No problem, no problem. You know, young man?
Oppression.
It was, but it was a specific thing that the British Empire was doing to the American people over here. Because they were one nation people, they were British people. And they moved to America and they were a colony of the British Empire. They had the same flag, same laws, all those same things. They bowed to the Queen of England. And then one day they said, we are separating from them and we're going to war with them. Go ahead.
Taxation without representation.
Get a brother in. You look at the history, it's something called the Boston Tea Party, right? They were giving them tea and they had to pay more on this tea. So they said, you know what? We're going to throw all the tea into the ocean. We're going to burn this boat and we're going to kill any British person that come over here and try to charge me without me having a say in how much you charge me. Like if you look at it like the dope game, you got some hood over here side and they taxing you. They saying, I need, every time y'all sell something, I need a piece of that. It's an old movie. I know you've seen it. King of New York.
Oh, go.
He said, if this happens here, I want in. If that happens over here, I want in. If a nickel bag gets sold in a park, I want a piece of that. You understand? We know cats go to war over that all the time. You can't come from over here and do that. In the Bay Area, we know it all too well. The reason why we're one of the only places in the world that doesn't have Bloods and Crips is because when a lot of them from LA came over here, tried to sell their no, we're not paying niggas in LA. Do the same thing. We're from California, bro. But they moved to these other places. They had one of them old school gangland shows, whatever. They had a dude behind. I think half of them is police. I don't really believe people on gangland. But he was in the dark room. His voice was changed. He was like, "Yeah, what we would do is we would go to what we call a bitch ass town, and then we would set up and we would make them become Crips. You understand? And we would sell our dope over there. You know what I mean? And that's just what they would do. They would go to this city, that city, that city, boom, 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 boom. But anyway, I'm saying all that to say they were willing to die to not be overtaxed by another group. Not because they were raping their women, not because they were enslaving them, not because they were putting them in prison, not because they gave them crack, not because of they put abortion clinics, like all of the evil things white America has done to us. Been killed everybody if the same thing, if a little thing happened to them like that.
Right.
What you mean? You want to what? George Floyd happened. We rioted for a couple weeks, and that was that. White people were told to put a mask on, and they went into the Capitol.
Right.
You understand? They killed police officers at the Capitol because they're not having no signs of being treated like a nigga.
Right.
You tell me I gotta get a vaccine, I gotta put a mask on, you're taking my civil rights. Who the hell do you think? I don't give a damn. 1 minute they talk about law and order and save the blue and blue lives matter, but until the police tell you, hey, put your mask on. Oh shit, give me my AR. We got it. They're trying to take our freedoms away. They been taking our guns. Round up, mount up. Let them know who's in charge. I'm a white man. I'd rather die on my knees than to live. Oh, he said, I'd rather die on my feet than to live on my knees. Give me liberty, give me death. That's what they teach each other. So our mind, that brother you talking about at work, he doesn't even understand what it means to be a man or to be free, because he thinks that these things happen over and over and over again are all individual, and it's okay. It's just the way things are. We just have to accept it. I get to go to work. I have a job. That didn't happen to me. Don't matter. It's lucky. All right. Go ahead. Where we at? Go ahead. Lamentations.
Lamentations 4:17.
Right.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Right. The Chinese don't wait for a nation that could not save them.
Right.
The Chinese know how to go to war in every way they can. Economic, cyber, any way they're going to war with the people that try to oppress them. Arabs, we're gonna strap up, blow ourselves up, 9/11, whatever we need to do. The Iran, they're not backing down. They've been free for thousands of years. They don't like when people come and try to oppress them.
Right.
They don't look for another nation to save them. All these other nations do that, but black and brown people, we say we're gonna vote for the people to change and treat them better. No one else does that. You understand?
Right.
But a slave.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Come. Verse 18. They hunt our steps.
They do what?
They hunt our steps.
Yeah, Nolan was free game. I don't know about any of y'all, but I don't know anybody that has a horse's head in their house or a deer or, you know what I mean? Antelope, elk. White people love to kill, period. We hunt to eat. Native Americans hunted to eat, to feed and use everything on the buffalo.
Right.
But to hunt for, it's just not in our spirit. You understand? They love to hunt. They hunt our steps. Nolan was food for them. That's what they say in New York. You a victim, you food. That was food for them. And they keep reading.
That we cannot in our streets. Our end is near.
Yep.
Our end is come.
Right. Anything else on verse 18?
Come on, come. Verse 19.
Okay.
You want verse 19?
Go ahead. Let's see what we got.
Verse 19. Our prosecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven.
Dang.
That
Persecutors, right?
persecutors. Persecutors.
Yeah, the people that destroy us and punish us and harm us, they're swift like the eagle up in heaven. You understand? We know what America's favorite animal is, the bald eagle.
Right.
All right, keep going.
Come. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness.
All right, drop that and go to Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 1. Real quick. It's getting kind of long. We're not online, so if y'all want to, we are online. You can. You need to. Man.
Everybody got it? This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 1. So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun. And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. There was power.
There was what?
Power.
Right. They said that the young boy's mother is like a judge. You understand? They have power and able to move through these things and get the upper hand. The police got this information, and they are trying to save those kids' lives because they hate black people.
Right.
You understand? If they would have killed another white kid, they would have wanted to get justice. But with them, they're choosing the race over what's right and what's wrong. That's war. You understand? What we do is internal problems, that's an internal family issue. When they do things against us, that's an act of war from another nation against our nation.
Right.
All right, keep reading.
God. But they had no comfort. Wherefore I praise the dead, more than the living, which are alive.
Right.
Verse 3. Yea, better is he than both they, which have not yet been. Evil work that is
Right. Like it's better to not have seen so much things that have happened. It's almost better to not ever be alive than to see all these things. Like he's sitting there pondering and thinking about all the oppression that's happened to his people, and is trying to figure out how is this even possible? You understand? And that's how we feel a lot of time. Like I said, if it wasn't for the truth, if it wasn't for the teachings and the breakdowns of this Bible, I totally understand you wanting to get high out of your mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was there. I was you. I get it. You start looking up back in the days, y'all a little bit younger, some of y'all may not know, but when that Illuminati stuff was coming out on YouTube, you start looking, you hearing about the Rothschilds, you hearing about Epstein, didn't even know who Epstein was. They talk about they doing this and they doing that. You're like, damn. Then somebody show you, look at the dollar bill. This is this. Look at they making pentagrams and you going crazy, nigga. You like, am I psychotic? Am I losing my goddamn mind? Ain't no way. They say 999 is 666 upside down. This is too much. I remember telling a brother about certain things, and like literally right after that, he was just like, "This is when I was in the truth." He just went and just got drunk. He just like, I never heard of this stuff. I didn't know all this stuff was happening, and there was nothing that he could do to process that much. It's just like that's why in the movie The Matrix, Neo threw up when he came out of it, and they pulled him out of it. He like, "Oh my God, they're eating." And they doing this, doing that. All of us are slaves. This is a farm of people. Everybody you know is a slave. It's like, I can't believe it. That's a depression that comes when you start to realize that you are a slave here. And you don't want to accept it, so you got to run from it and escape it. And that's what drugs and alcoholism and all these things come into play. All right? Let's drop that. But that's why, as a matter of fact, give me verse 21. That's why changing who Jesus Christ is, changing what this Bible means, is a very evil, it's the most evil thing they could have ever done to us. You understand? Right. But even in this lust for power, if they really wanted to destroy, they would have completely got rid of this book, because within this there's enough information to raise up even in the midst of all of that, even after all of that. Go ahead, read it.
Tell with God. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 21. And that she shall bring forth a son, that's life. And she shall bring forth a son.
This is prophecy about Yahweh Shai or Jesus, right?
And thou shalt call his name Yahweh Shai.
Right. Means keep going.
His people from their sins.
Christ was here to deliver his people from their sins, deliver the children of Israel from being oppressed. It's a hell of a speech from a brother in the world. It's called, "If Jesus was a revolutionary, why is your pastor such an Uncle Tom?" Yeah. He said, "If Jesus was a revolutionary, why is your pastor such an Uncle Tom?" Because when he's reading the story, he's seeing that these brothers that were living underneath the Roman Empire were suffering, being treated as second-class or third-class citizens. And they did not want to do that. If you were an intelligent people, you don't want to be second-class, third-class. I don't want to brag about being able to have a, that's not something that should be something to attain. Right. They let us work with them. They let us eat with them. They let us go to school with them. That's ridiculous. Like, we forced ourselves under the Christian pastor to go drink coffee and eat food at places that people didn't want us there. Right. This brother know me too well. ICR. Every time I go to a restaurant, my fries too cold, sending them back. I wanted this type of cheese. Nah, I ain't gonna give you that. Might be something wrong with me. There's too much this, too little of that. Y'all redoing the order. Sometimes the brother like, Salaki, sir, I don't want to eat here no more. I don't know what they're gonna do to our food. You done mess with this in the back too much. We just go somewhere else. If you feel like that about asking for some food you reordered, why would you want somebody to bake your food who said no niggas allowed on the damn front door?
Right.
That's crazy. You got something?
Right.
Why would you fight to go in there and say, make my coffee? They gonna spit your coffee, the special sauce? You don't want the special sauce. What is in that? Y'all seen that, what's that called? Harold and Kumar?
Yeah.
What's it there? Animal seed. That's on your burger. You fought to pay for that. You give them money. Well, yeah, of course. Right? But that Christ came to save his people. This book was all about the children of Israel over and over and over again. Go to the book of Luke, chapter 1, see verse 60, 67. This is what we are about here in the UPK. Let's see, start at verse 67.
Come on, come.
Luke chapter 1, verse 67.
This is book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 67.
Uh-huh.
And as his father, Zacharias, was filled with the Holy Spirit and prophesied, saying, verse 68, blessed be the Lord God of Israel.
Of who?
Of Israel.
Of who?
Of Israel.
This book is about one group of people. The God of Israel is mentioned 1,500 times throughout the Bible. You hear the word Israel, Israelites, the Jews. You understand? Over and over and over again. The God of Israel, specific people, keep going.
For he hath visited
Uh-huh.
and redeemed his people.
Christ came to save his people. This was supposed to be a king put into place. Right. What did they kill Christ for? What did it say over his head? He was on words in Latin over his head. Go ahead. The King of the Jews.
Oh,
Now, go ahead.
like, is that what that says? Like, I remember
Eye in our eyes and like that.
yeah.
It's supposed to be like an acronym of the King of the Jews, basically. You understand? And so, okay, how can you explain that for today? Like, for you to understand the spirit of that and understand that Christ is a revolutionary, let's think Nat Turner. You know, Nat Turner came up and did what he did and got the brothers to do what he did. Y'all know the story of Nat Turner, right? He went, killed slave masters and all that. Now imagine if he was lynched on a tree and they put on the top of it the president of niggers. What does that mean? Right. Because what was he trying to do? What was Nat Turner trying to do? Who? What kind of blacks? You want it? You said it right there. The who? Get that brother a hand. Nat Turner was trying to free the slave and go to war. And they say, if you got somebody that wants to free you and be your leader, your king, your president, we're going to kill him in front of everybody. Right. This is what happens to the president of niggers. This is what happens to the presidents of spits and savages. Anybody, Geronimo, anybody that wants to stand up, we're going to put him up on a tree in front of everybody and show you that there ain't no king of the niggers. Right. We're the king of niggers. Right. We run this place. They charged Christ with sedition, which means he was the government. You understand? And that is what we're reading about right here. Can you read? Read that part one more time, verse 68.
Come. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel.
Right.
For he hath visited and redeemed his people.
He's here to free being oppressed under these Romans. Keep going.
Verse 69. and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us of his servant David.
That's why we keep the shofar. The shofar is a horn that you blow to call the people, to bring them to an assembly. We raise this horn saying, hey, come here. You can be free. All right, go ahead.
Oh my God. Verse 7. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began.
Right. All the prophets, Moses, Ezekiel, Ezra, Nehemiah, Isaiah, Jeremiah, they all spoke about the day when the children of Israel would no longer be slaves, when they would have the Messiah, just like in the movie The Matrix, the one that's going to come and save you from your oppressors. He is going to come and deliver you. All right? This is what they spoke about from the beginning. Keep going.
Oh my God. Verse 71. That we should be saved from our enemies.
From who?
From our enemies.
That we should be saved from our enemies. Keep going.
And from the hand of all that hate us.
And of all them that hate us. You're not supposed to go to church and learn how to love the Russians and you are Ukrainian.
Right.
You're supposed to go to church and pray to God that he stops the Ukrainians from killing you. I mean, the Russians from killing you. You understand?
Right.
That's what this book was for. That's what Christ was saying. He was saying, how do we get them off of our back? First and foremost, they got too much weaponry. The Romans got too many chariots. They got iron. They got horses. They got money. They got all the resources. They got niggas on our side that have worked for them and turned to their side. If we want to get free from them, we need brotherhood with each other.
Right.
We need to have a spiritual revolution first before we worry about anything else. If I can't get along with you, what's the purpose of us even asking to get free from them? The moment we get free, we just gonna start killing each other and fighting each other and oppressing each other. You understand? Drop that. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus, the last couple of verses. (13 and 16).
Slug, sir, you said 13?
Yeah, Ecclesiasticus chapter 13. I never heard a pastor say that in my entire time going to the church. He never pulled that verse about Christ came to save his people from the enemies and the people that hate them.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead. If you got it, send the Apocrypha.
Yeah.
That brother might not have it back there too, but go ahead. Please.
Please. Kind of go off topic, though. You said, I heard the preacher say that it's like, brother talked about it and brought up the parable of the brother with the king, the servants and his talents.
Yeah, right.
And it was like the Christian church, they'll talk about that part, but then when it gets a little bit further down to those who are not, that shall not have their own bring together and slay them.
Right.
I ain't never heard that. They just heard the part where it's like, you better pay your tithe or else
Right.
someone else is gonna get you a reward.
Right.
They stop it at the edge right there. They don't ever go down to after you don't want to serve them outside.
Right.
But yeah,
I bet you know who does read that verse?
I see that.
No, that too. The Ku Klux Klan.
Oh,
Right.
hey.
They read it in their churches.
Yeah.
All these vestures dipped in blood and all that. They read these things. They burn a cross on your lawn.
Right.
Right.
No, I still can't.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it means. For the life of me. They do it in the name of Jesus. Go ahead.
Like just on that, I heard they said they run conferences because they know that Jesus was black. I don't think
Right.
I've heard that's the reason.
Right.
But it doesn't really make sense to me. They think Jesus is white.
But they don't really believe that. Once again, even in the truth, it can happen to us, right? But a wise person doesn't look at what it says, they look at what they do. You understand? You say you're a Christian, but you burned the cross and you just took my wife out the house and raped her. You know what I'm saying? Took me outside, killed me, lynched me, and then raped. That's the Ku Klux Klan. But all of them, they say they're a Christian organization.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So they don't believe in nothing about the book. They're using it as a tool to just push their agenda.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
okay.
Get tax write-offs. That's what it really is. Learn about these taxes out there. White people know how to use them taxes to their advantage.
I think they call like grand wizards and stuff
Yeah,
like that, man, too.
yeah.
And they like Masons, they're satanic.
Them clans of Ireland and all them pagan and Thor and all that stuff, those are the real guys that they serve, which is textbook Roman Catholicism, the Roman Empire. You know what I mean? Yep.
It's like, sir, but I forgot where I read it, but it's defeat. You know what I'm saying? So it goes way, you know, that's why you saw it back in medieval times and stuff like that, or you know, back with the knights.
Okay.
That's why it looked like a cross.
Ah, right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It goes
Confident. Yep. I definitely know that's true.
I'm gonna put the cross here and show you that you're defeated. Jesus.
Yeah, you just like we. Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 17. What fellowship had the wolf with the lamb?
Right, like, it's like, let me get here with you. It's man. As long as he don't hurt his finger, that's all I care about. This brother. Cold blooded. Where you at? Ecclesiastes 13. What did I call out?
17, sorry.
Verse 17.
Come on.
Now, the fact once again that we have to like explain this to all is it's extremely sad. Like I said all the time, like after slavery, we should have had a meeting of black people. Should have came together and had a big meeting in the field somewhere, but we know people